Here we go, round one. Adame's out on the front foot. Sheeraz, high guard, snapping his jab, gets a right hand off. Nice hand speed there from Sheeraz. Good jab from Sheeraz. Adame's looking to be aggressive. And he's going to be dangerous early. Sheeraz is going to need to establish the jab. He's going to need to catch Adames with big shots on the way in. Adames is going to need to obviously close that distance and do work on the inside. Get body shots off and try and be the faster, more explosive guy, which he is. But he needs to get in those positions to make that count. Sheeraz poised. Good jab there from Sheeraz. And that will be a major weapon for him in this fight if he can establish that jab. And Adames needs to stop him establishing that jab. Needs to move that head and not get caught with that shot because it is a powerful, stinging punch from Hamzah Sheeraz. Adames moving his head here, but he has been caught clean with a jab a couple of times already. Obviously, this is only the first round and both guys are having a look. But Adames is going to need to apply a lot more pressure than this, in the fight moving forward. You cannot allow a tall guy like Sheeraz, who is a hard puncher, time and space. Can't give him time and space to set his shots up. Again, nice jab there from Sheeraz. Sheeraz composed. You'd like to see, if you're an Adames supporter, you'd like to see him, as the fight progresses, up the pressure. Because this is not a particularly high-paced first round. But they're both just feeling each other out, seeing what's safe to throw and where and when it's safe to throw. Adames targeting the body a few times here. Sheeraz trying to get the jab off. Very, very quiet opening round here from both men. Just having a look. Not much happening. A few jabs landing here and there. No major shots. Very, very cagey. All right, that's round one done. Could you give it to Adames for aggression? Or Sheeraz for a few cleaner jabs? Nah. I'd maybe give it to Sheeraz. I think he landed clean a couple more times, but there's really nothing in it. Uneventful round. But you see the dynamic there. Sheeraz is going to look to establish the jab, catch Adames coming in. But if I'm in Adames' corner, I want to see him more aggressive in rounds 2 and 3. I want to see him make that speed, coming up from welterweight and 154. I want to see him make that speed count on the inside with combinations and try and fluster Hamzah Sheeraz in the early going. That's what I would want to see if I was in his corner. You don't want to have too many quiet rounds like the first one, where Sheeraz can get into his groove. And also, they might be biased here in favor of Sheeraz. You would imagine the politics will be on Sheeraz's side here. So they might be giving him slow rounds. So you want Adames to really step it up, put some combos together. It's a bit better from Adames. Again, very circumspect so far in the first minute of round 2. Both guys very cautious. Adames getting the right hand off, but blocked. Sheeraz on the jab. That was a low shot there from Adames. Jab to the body from Sheeraz. You can certainly see, one thing you can tell straight away is that this is definitely the best opponent that Sheeraz has fought. I mean, we all knew that going in, but it's very apparent in the ring. Sheeraz isn't anywhere near as active as he normally would be in a fight in these first couple rounds. He's being very careful. Doesn't want to make any mistakes. I'm not sure if these guys have ever sparred, because Sheeraz does a lot of his training in the United States. He's been based there in terms of training for much of his career. So he will have sparred a lot of guys, Sheeraz, you know. That was a nice jab there from Sheeraz. Caught Adames coming in. So we've got a tactical matchup so far, you know, kind of a chess match. Adames stalking, but low volume himself. And Hamzah Sheeraz moving, but not moving frenetically. You know, he's not moving around the ring. Oh, good right hand there from Sheeraz. He's not having to move around the ring like Madrimov, you know, jumping around all over the place and expending loads of energy. So Adames not really, also Adames not targeting the body enough for me here. You want to take some wind out of Sheeraz's sails, you know. Good jab there from Sheeraz. Nice jab. Sheeraz's hand speed has really improved over the past few years, because early on in his career, he was really quite slow, but his punches are much more sharp now. And that jab in particular, very, very sharp. Impressive the way he used it a few moments ago. Adames was moving his head, but Sheeraz was accurate with the jab. So yeah, quiet 2 rounds there, but maybe Sheeraz has shaded both of them, just with more accurate punching. I'm not going to argue with anyone who wanted to give them the other way, though, because, again, they were so uneventful. It's like, whatever. But I just think Sheeraz, a couple more clean shots. Okay, there was a right hand left that did actually land for Adames. I didn't see that during the round. Must have been too quick for my eyes. Yeah, that was a nice right hand left from Adames that did land. Okay, didn't catch that. Good jab there from Sheeraz. Kind of caught Adames on the eye. All right, here we go, round 3. Adames in the navy blue. Sheeraz in the white and gold. Sheeraz fighting out of the UK. Adames, a Dominican, fighting out of the United States. Will this fight catch fire? Because so far it's been a chess match. Both guys trying to be perfect in their moves. Sheeraz landing the jab again there. And Adames needs to watch for that, you know. This is why I think Adames needs to be a bit more aggressive here, because you don't want Sheeraz establishing the jab, because that jab will start busting you up. And then he'll start dropping power shots off the jab, because at the moment he's just landing single jabs, sometimes double jabs. He's not really throwing power shots off them. But if you allow him to establish the jab, he's going to start throwing power shots, timing you with power shots, as he tried to do there to Adames. Adames stepping it up a little bit here with more pressure. Again, very low volume from both guys, both being very, very careful. I mean, you can see the issue for Adames is getting so close to such a tall guy. He has to work hard to get underneath Sheeraz's jab and then get his shots off. Maybe a double jab from Adames would help him in this instance. Gets caught with a jab again on the way in. You know, Adames has got good head movement, but I think maybe he's thinking too much about not being caught. I mean, I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but sometimes when you rush a guy, you can rush past their shots. You know, move your head a little bit and then just do a rush but he's trying to be perfect defensively on the way in. And, you might be able to do that early in the fight, but if the fight continues in this vein, with the politics presumably in Sheeraz's favor, you're going to need to start taking chances if you're Adames, I think. Not trying to be so perfect on the way in, but, being willing to take some risks to put Sheeraz under pressure. Because, if I'm in Adames' corner, I'm telling him that Sheeraz is too comfortable here. Again, nothing in the rounds, but just the flow of the fight. I don't like how, if I'm Adames, I don't like how comfortable Sheeraz is. If you're the bull, you want to keep the matador under pressure, Where were the body shots from Adames? I agree with Mighty Meatball. Adames needs to mix up the speed of the attacks. So, again, 3 very, very close rounds. I'd give the majority of them to Sheeraz myself. I just think his jab has been the difference. He's landed a few nice, clean jabs. This one hasn't caught fire so far, has it? Definitely been the most uneventful first 3 rounds of any of the fights so far on the card. So here we go, round 4. Adames trying to get his little jab off there. I think he needs more of that. All right, right hand there from Adames. I think that might have grazed Sheeraz. Adames, I think, needs a double jab on the way in. And then maybe step to the right. Double jab, step to the right, and try and catch maybe Sheeraz with an overarm right. Good body shot there from Sheeraz. He likes that left hook to the body. Good jab there from Sheeraz. Nice. Very, very accurate here from Hamzah Sheeraz. Spearing that jab out. Right hand from... Did that rock Adames there? That right hand from Sheeraz. Adames shakes his head and says no. But sometimes that's an indication that it did. Sheeraz keeping the distance well here. Adames, again, you can't let Sheeraz set up like this on the outside and, spear you with the jab. You got to keep the pressure up. You got to keep the pressure. Sheeraz looks far too comfortable from, the Adames camp perspective. Far too comfortable. Okay, Adames, again, taking a chance there. Needs to take chances. You're going to have to take chances. Good shots there from Sheeraz. Throwing the straight punches. Economical. Keeping his guard high. Spearing the jab out there. Moving comfortably around the ring. I like the way this fight is going for Sheeraz, I would prefer at this stage to be in the Sheeraz camp than the Adames camp. Not that there's anything in these rounds, but not another nice jab from Sheeraz. All right, there's a jab to the body from Adames. This is more of a Sheeraz round so far because the previous 3 rounds were very close, but Sheeraz is starting to separate himself here in this one. There's an attempt at a double jab right hand there from Adames, but all shots appeared to be blocked. But he is upping the foot pressure on Sheeraz here in this round, which is good. And yes, that will mean that he walks into a few, but it's an investment. Oh, Adames went for it, but Sheeraz countered there. So yeah, this is good pressure here, foot pressure from Adames. And even though Sheeraz is winning this round, he's getting Sheeraz to move maybe a bit more than he wants to. So yeah, that's better foot pressure from Adames in this round. You're making an investment. You have to be willing to take shots and lose a couple rounds as you apply the pressure so that they pay dividends later on in the fight. So better from both guys. in that round, but definitely a Sheeraz one for me. Let's have a look at the slow-mo here. You'll see nice left hook to the body from Sheeraz. He's very, very good with that punch. There it is, right round the guard. Nice. Nice shot. And then the beautiful jab from Sheeraz on the move. That was a beautiful shot. Proper rock to Adames' head back. Beautiful punch. Great spearing jab. He's really improved with that punch over the past few years. That jab is so sharp. The way he sticks it out. Very, very nice punch. So here we go, round 5. Again, Adames needs to keep that pressure up and hope that Sheeraz starts to wilt down the stretch, because it's starting to go Sheeraz's way here. Sheeraz boxing very, very well, economical, precise. Okay, Adames must have been told by his corner, because he looks more purposeful now. He's trying to leap in with some shots. Again, Sheeraz catching him with a jab on the way in. This is what Adames needs to do. You need to take the chances, bro. You can't stand on the outside with this guy. He's too precise and rangy. You see, this is the thing about Dominican fighters, for those of you who, maybe don't know too much about them. As I said before the fight, yeah, Adames can apply pressure, but he's not really like a pure pressure fighter. He's kind of a tricky fighter. Yeah, he can be aggressive and throw a lot of shots, but he also is quite cerebral. That was a good right hand there, though, from Adames. And because he's kind of cerebral and he thinks a lot and whatnot, there's the possibility that that could work against him against Sheeraz. He might think too much coming forward and not take the chances he needs to take. But he's doing well in this round, Adames. He's landed a good shot there. He's up in the pressure. This is what Adames needs to do, yeah. Sheeraz needs to try and time him to slow down this momentum, because this is a good round for Adames here. He's really stepping up the pace. And you see, if Sheeraz doesn't catch Adames when he's being this aggressive and steady him or stun him with something, then Sheeraz is going to be in trouble, right? Because Adames will do this all night unless he's being punished for doing it. So Sheeraz needs to catch him with something. Okay, now Sheeraz is stationary. Decided to stop moving there, give Adames a different look, looking for the hooks. Interesting round 5 here, because Adames has really upped the pressure and it's been effective. It's kind of good body shots from Adames. The first time he's really got some hooks off to the body. Sheeraz looking for the counter left hook. Yeah, Sheeraz is going to need to land something here, because Adames' pressure is starting to work. If he doesn't steady Adames with a counter, then, yeah, this could get difficult for Sheeraz. Okay, Sheeraz coming back here at the end of the round, but missing it. See, Adames got that tricky Dominican head movement there. Oh, all right. The right hand grazed Adames there at the end. But that was an Adames round for me. That's an Adames round. He did what he needed to do in that round there. He knew the fight was starting to get away from him. So he upped the pressure. He started throwing more shots, taking more chances. Needed to. The momentum was shifting far too heavily in front of Sheeraz, in favor of Sheeraz in that round. Good shots there from Sheeraz, though, at the end of the round. Adames beats his chest. Dominican style, macho. He's got war on his gloves, like Marvin Hagler, or in more recent times, Derek Chisora. And there is Derek Chisora. Look at that. How's that for synchronicity? Derek Chisora in a cowboy hat. It's almost like they heard me. So here we go. Round 6. Rounds are flying by here. It's been a tight fight so far, but I've probably got Sheeraz up. Been a tight fight. Adames looking to up the tempo. Sheeraz getting the jab off again there. Chris Mannix has got Adames up by a point. Can't really argue either way, to be honest. Either guy up by a point or two. It's been that tight in many of these rounds. Okay, Sheeraz looking to plant his feet here and let off some heavier shots. See, Sheeraz cannot afford, at this stage of the fight, to spend too much time on the inside because Adames, being the smaller guy, has got the faster hands and he throws more shots. So Sheeraz, I think, needs to keep this at a distance and maybe when Adames comes in, use some tactical clinching as much as you can get away with. But keep the distance at this stage because Adames has still got plenty of gas in the tank. And you have to figure on, in those inside exchanges, he's going to be able to get some stuff done. There's a nice right hand there and an uppercut from Adames. Okay, Sheeraz going with the uppercut there. Nice jabs from Sheeraz. Got Frank Warren at ringside, urging Sheeraz to let more shots go. Sheeraz gesturing to Adames that he's blocking his shots. Okay, well, still not good in front of the judges, allowing a guy to let his hands go like that and you not coming back with much. Sheeraz with those slashing uppercuts on the inside, but not landing clean. Adames, good head movement and blocking there. Again, for me, this is an Adames round. Kind of rocks Sheeraz off balance with a hook there, which doesn't land clean, but still keeping his hands moving. Yeah, momentum shifting now in favor of Adames. Good body shots from Adames. Sheeraz coming back with a couple. Whipping left hook from Sheeraz was telegraphed, so didn't land. Oh, good left hook on the inside from Adames. Sent the spit flying out of Sheeraz's mouth. Sheeraz starting to ship some punishment here. Okay, gets the jab there, going. But Adames' head movement up close is giving Sheeraz problems. See, when Sheeraz was at long range, that's where Adames' head movement wasn't as effective. Because Sheeraz was able to wait for Adames' head to stop moving and then catch him. But in mid-range and close range, Adames' head movement is far more effective. So I think Sheeraz really needs to keep that distance, if he can, if he's got the legs still. Shout out to D-Man for the super chat. He says, what's New Zealand Deputy Prime Minister, let me read this here, doing next to Turkey? I wasn't aware of who the Deputy Prime Minister was, but shout out to D-Man for the super chat. All right, we're seeing backstage footage here of Josh Padley and Shakur Stevenson. Padley literally has had his life changed overnight. An electrician in Doncaster, probably earning, 45 grand a year, gets the call to fight Shakur Stevenson out the blue in a couple days' notice, and they're paying him high six figures apparently. So it's like 15, 20 years' wages in one fight out the blue, like winning the lottery. So happy for him, but I expect him to get completely dominated by Shakur Stevenson. So here we go anyway, into the 7th round of Adames Sheeraz. Been a tight fight, but I just feel like the momentum is swinging in favor of Adames here. Sheeraz not maintaining the range that he was able to keep earlier on in the fight. Adames doing some good work up close, landing good body shots. Sheeraz here in round 6, looking like he wants to keep that distance a bit more. Must have been told by his corner. That's what he needs to do because that's where he was having most of his success. If you let Adames get close, when he's fresh like this, you're going to have problems. So you've got to keep him on the end of that jab. Sheeraz is so much more accurate when he's at long range because Adames finds it difficult to counter the very, very long range shots. He has to leap in, leaves himself off balance, and Sheeraz is able to catch him again coming in. So that's where he needs to keep it, on the outside like this. And obviously Adames needs it to be mid-range or inside. That's good work from Adames coming in. Yeah, hasn't been a great fight so far, to be fair. This is definitely the least entertaining fight there's been on the card up to this point. No significant damage has been done as of yet by either man. But Adames' work rate is good here. Activity, stepping up, making Sheeraz miss. Again, he's getting into that mid and close range, and that's where he's most effective. Sheeraz trying to... That was a good jab from Sheeraz there. That was a good jab. Yeah, Adames has found a way past Sheeraz's jab. Maybe because Sheeraz has stopped moving so much, but even when he was still moving, Adames was, again, taking chances. He's obviously seen something. He's obviously figured out ways to get on the inside and at least into mid-range. He's downloaded that data. Oh, Sheeraz nearly timed him with an uppercut there. Good big jab again from Sheeraz. Sheeraz's jab is by far and away his best punch in this fight. That's the one shot that's had some kind of impact on Adames visually. May not have hurt him, but, it's knocked his head back a few times. So that was a better round there from Sheeraz. You could still give it to Adames, though. Tight one. Tight one. And somebody says Sheeraz should be showing the long left hook. Well, he did try it a few times, but he missed by a mile. Missed by an absolute mile. So that's why he's hesitant to throw it. I guess he feels like Adames is still fresh enough to be able to get out of the way of the shot. So here we go into round number 8 here. Excuse me. All right, Sheeraz working his jab. Adames coming back with combinations. I do feel like Adames is maybe ahead now. I haven't been scoring it round by round or keeping track of my score round by round, but I do feel like Adames maybe is edging in front here with his activity. And it is Adames' head movement that's giving Sheeraz the issues. That's why I think Sheeraz isn't letting his hands go the way he normally would, because he's missing when he tries to let the hooks and uppercuts go. And he doesn't want to waste energy doing that, so he's being very conservative here. Oh, big right hand from Adames. Sheeraz rocked here by a right hand from Adames, covering up on the ropes. Comes back with a left hook, but is blocked by Adames. But that was a good shot from Adames there. Landed on Sheeraz. Momentarily rocked him. Doesn't appear to be in serious trouble, but could that be a sign of things to come? Midway through round 8. Again, Adames with that head movement making Sheeraz miss. Sheeraz only really having consistent success with the jab. His power shots have been nullified and neutralized by Carlos Adames. Shout out to Ben for the super chat. Oh, big right hand from Hamzah Sheeraz there. That was a nice shot. Adames took it well, though. That's the first real clean right hand Sheeraz has landed. But again, troublingly for Sheeraz, Adames took it really well. Yeah, this is an Adames round for sure. You got to have Adames starting to pull away on the scorecards. I don't think it's unsalvageable for Sheeraz, but he needs to find something because the momentum is very much in favor of the champion. Again, Adames good head movement on the way in. Sheeraz landing a few jabs, but not enough. Sheeraz moving. Adames calling on him to stand and fight. Good right hand there from Adames. Yep, that's an Adames round. Sheeraz has lost his way here. Richard Draper says Adames must be 2 rounds up. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Sounds about right. Big right hand there from Adames. That was a great shot. I mean, Sheeraz took it well, but you don't want to be taking too many like that. Couldn't have landed cleaner. Did come back with his own right hand later on in the round, but it wasn't as good as Adames' right hand. So here we go, round 9. I've definitely got Adames up at this stage. I'd imagine most people do. I think at some point, if Sheeraz really falls behind and, in the next round or two, he's going to have to actually try and push Adames back. I think he's going to have to try and do that, He's going to have to try and push Adames back. He is the bigger man. Use them levers, get some leverage, push him back onto the back foot. Try and take some of his power away. That's a good left hook on the inside from Adames. Again, me agreeing with Darren Barker is a rarity, but he said, yeah, you need to leave it all in the ring, Hamzah. He's holding a lot back here for fear of being caught, but no, you need to leave it in there. You're falling behind on the cards. Good right hand there from Adames. Okay, Sheeraz uppercut's being blocked. Tried the uppercuts, but yeah. Landed on Adames' gloves. Shout out to someone for the super chat. He says, I can't stand Barry Jones, and Darren Barker's commentary always shocked in a close fight when Mannix has someone else up. Yeah, big up someone for the super chat. Shout out to Perpetual Intellectual. He says, is Sheeraz being exposed at the top level here? Well, he's being beaten. Exposed is kind of a subjective word, right? People mean different things by exposed, but he's definitely losing the fight. And this is another round for Carlos Adames for me. Just 3 rounds to go now, so Sheeraz is really going to need to pull it out the bag. Sebastian says, didn't Duke McKenzie pick Adames? He did indeed. He did indeed. And nice jabs from Sheeraz there, but he just cannot land his power shots. He cannot land them. I mean, Sheeraz might want to look to maybe go to Adames' body a bit more. And Adames getting a strong warning here. Shouldn't be a point deduction, though. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, Dahmer's just out hustling Sheeraz here and out boxing him, really, because he's hitting and not getting hit as much. He's moving his head, and Sheeraz just cannot get to grips with Adames' head movement, other than with his jab at long range. Sheeraz's jab, still decent, but other than that, it's all Adames. I think it's at the stage of the fight now where Sheeraz is going to need to get stuck in. He needs to get stuck in if he wants to win, because, the flow of the fight is only going one way. Someone says, I thought Sheeraz had another gear. I think he does have another gear, but he's afraid to use it because Adames is moving his head. And whenever Sheeraz has tried to open up, all his shots are missing. So I think that is making him anxious. Frank Warren looking very red-faced at ringside. Frank Warren looking red as a tomato. So here we go, round 10. Carlos Adames in a commanding lead now, pushing Hamzah Sheeraz up against the ropes. His head movement and his pressure and his work rate has been the factors here. He's taken Sheeraz's power shots away from him. Left him with only really jabs at long range. But other than that, ineffective offense from Hamzah Sheeraz. Neither guy has been seriously hurt in the fight. No knockdowns so far. A little bit of facial damage for Sheeraz, but it's been more of a tactical fight than a slugfest for sure. But Sheeraz is fortunate that Adames is such a naturally smaller guy, because if he'd been in there with a legit middleweight, he might have found himself in real serious trouble. As it is, Adames is a guy who's moved up from welterweight, 154, and now 160. So he can't quite put the dent in Hamzah Sheeraz that a natural middleweight will probably be able to. But Adames hasn't needed the natural size thus far in this fight. His skills have been enough. Shout out to someone again for the super chat. He says, Duke McKenzie gets another one right. Indeed. And I get another one wrong. I'm now 2-2 on this card. 2 right, 2 wrong so far, because, yeah, Sheeraz is surely not going to win this fight, is he? So I'm 2-2. Like Desmond. Yeah, Sheeraz is just not... See, Sheeraz is one of these guys who's usually quite accurate in fights, and that's where he gets his groove. That's where he feels comfortable, is when shots are landing. But because of Adames' head movement, it's making Sheeraz uncomfortable, making him feel anxious. And that's why he's not letting the hands go. He just feels too anxious to do it. He's out of his comfort zone. Adames has outskilled him. Outboxed him, outskilled him. Another round for Adames. Amir says the occasion was too much for him. I don't think it's really the occasion, in my personal opinion. I just think it's the skill of Adames. I think he's just got too much skill for Sheeraz. That's what he's proven here. He's got too much skill for him. As Dominic said, they're outclassed, yeah. Sheeraz is being outclassed in the fight. Outclassed, outboxed, outskilled. He was doing fairly well early in the fight, but once Adames adapted, Sheeraz hasn't been able to counter-adapt. He's just been stuck. Adam Smith trying to keep hope alive, saying there's still time. Trying to keep hope alive like Jesse Jackson. Is it Jesse Jackson who used to say that? Or was it Al Sharpton? I forget. All right, good jab there from Hamzah Sheeraz. Adames banging the body. Here we are in round 11. Someone sends a super chat and says, do you think they will rob Adames? I certainly hope not. That'll be horrible. That'll really be horrible. Because Adames is well ahead in this fight. All right, Sheeraz standing and starting to let a few shots go here, but nothing too effective other than the jab. Adames coming back at him. And yeah, Sheeraz is going to need to, as anxious as he is to let his hands go because so many are missing, he's going to need to just gamble. How much do you want to win? You know? You have to be willing to get chinned to try and pull it out the bag. You have to risk getting chinned. So Sheeraz letting a few go here, but Adames is coping with him fine. He should have done this earlier in the fight, to be honest, Sheeraz, because he was never going to win it any other way or give himself a chance any other way after the early going once Adames found a way to get on the inside. Again, Sheeraz afraid to miss. It's like he doesn't want to throw a shot until he's 99% sure it's going to land. And you can't afford that when you're behind in a fight like this. But it's a mental adjustment that fighters like him find difficult to make. Because they're not used to being reckless in fights, It's a mindset as well as a physical action. Oh, good shot there from Sheeraz. Good left hand from Sheeraz and a right. Someone's asking, was it too early for Sheeraz? I don't think it was too early. I just think he came up against the guy who proved to be more skillful. And that's it. I don't think Sheeraz is frozen here, personally. I just think he's outskilled. And it is what it is. There we go, into round 11. Sheeraz came back with a couple decent shots there, but too little too late. He's losing this, if there's any justice, unless we're getting a horrible decision. And he's going to lose this on a UD. So there was an uppercut and a left hook to the body there from Sheeraz in a slow-mo. Adames coming back with a right hook to Sheeraz's head. Again, Adames, even though he's won this fight, you can see that he's a smaller guy moving up because he's never really hurt Sheeraz the way a proper middleweight would have done if he landed that clean. Do you know what I mean? Adames really is a small guy. Doesn't have the power of a full-size middleweight. Yeah, they're telling Sheeraz he needs a KO to win, and he does, because he's a mile behind for me. He's got to find a punch from the gods here. A punch from the gods. And I don't think he's got it in him. I don't think Adames is going to keep his head still for long enough to allow Sheeraz to load up and land a shot like that. Adames constantly, see that on the inside, constantly moving the head up close. And Sheeraz just cannot land those big hooks. Adames is able to read Sheeraz's hooks. This is the issue. Adames is able to read Sheeraz's hooks. 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 And so Sheeraz is trying to figure out a way to disguise his hooks. This is what he's been doing the past couple rounds. How do I disguise the hook so that Adames doesn't move his head before the hook lands? Need to trick him somehow. This is what Sheeraz is trying to figure out in his head, but he can't. Adames is too tricky. Too slick up close. See, Sheeraz should have done this 3 or 4 rounds ago, stood in the pocket like this, because even though he's not getting the better of it, he at least gives himself a chance. You know, Adames don't hit that hard, clearly, from this fight. So Sheeraz should have stood in the pocket earlier on and taken more chances like this. Yeah, Adames really doesn't hit that hard. There's another right hand uppercut from Adames, hook from Adames. Sheeraz takes some fine. Good uppercut and hook there from Adames. Sheeraz trying to come back. Needs to go, needs to go. 45 seconds left. This would be the miracle of all miracles for Hamzah Sheeraz. He's surely not going to get it. Carlos Adames has thoroughly outboxed him, outthought him, outpunched him. Yeah, Bronco has got this one. Surely a UD for Hamzah Sheeraz. Hamzah Sheeraz. For Carlos Adames, excuse me. Dear oh dear. I nearly channeled Chris Mannix or someone then. Yeah, surely a UD, comfortable UD for Carlos Adames. He's well won that. Someone's saying 7'5" Adames. No, it's bigger than that, bro. Way wider than that. No, it's not. It's saying it's 7'5". Might be an 8'4" or 9'3" even for Adames. Why is that they saying, will it be Hamzah Sheeraz the new? Like, are you buzzing? Come on. Will it be Hamzah Sheeraz the new? I mean, unless he knows about some dodgy decision incoming, then that's clearly a UD for Carlos Adames. Why does he say maybe, Ade? Stop it. Stop. Please don't do that, Ade. It's not a maybe. This is a clear win for Adames. Huh? Sean Porter? Sean Porter had... Huh? Sean Porter had Sheeraz winning? Now, this better not be a robbery. Seriously, that would be one of the worst things I've seen on these Saudi cards. Okay, Sheeraz maybe got a broken hand there. A left. Certainly looks swollen. Shout out to Black Dynamite for the super chat. He says he went from shades of Hearns to shades of Broner. He needed shades of Ali. Let's not get a travesty here, please. Let's keep it nice and fair. on the scorecard. Should be a UD for Adames. Oh my God. A split? Huge for Adames, 118, 110. Surely it shouldn't even be a split. What? A majority draw, a split draw? That is a shocker. So they tried their best to rob Carlos Adames there. Absolutely shocking. I mean, obviously Adames keeps his title. That's the good thing. But dear, oh dear, oh dear. That was a shocker. That was a shocker. But, you know, I did think that there might be some bias there in favor of Sheeraz. You know, I said so before the fight. I mean, that's really, really bad. Adames well won that. Yeah, that was a shocker. But as I say, the good thing is at least Adames didn't lose his title, even though that should never have been a draw. At least Adames kept his belt. And presumably he got a payday, you know, decent payday out of it, maybe the best payday of his career. M says that fight was trash. Yeah, it wasn't a great fight. It's been the only poor fight on the card so far. Turned out to be a disappointment, that fight. Disappointing action and a disappointing result. Hey, Frank says Adames clearly won the fight. He did indeed. Clearly. Clearly. Someone says that's what you get in Saudi robberies. You get robberies everywhere, mate. Let's not act like, you know, there's no robberies in the UK or in the US. Robberies are everywhere in boxing. But as I say, the good thing is Adames didn't lose, keeps his title. So we have to look at that one positive, because it would have been a real travesty if he'd lost.